Hey Joe, this is Keaton Everett with ABC, going over your pitching video from camp. We're going to go through and talk about your mechanics and talk a little bit about what we're looking like at a couple spots around our delivery. You're doing a lot of good things here. You got a good sort of sense of how everything's working. You got a good lower half. Now it's just a few sort of initial sort of how you start everything, and we're going to key in on what your hips are doing so we can generate a little bit more power and velocity as we get older and add some strength. That's going to help us. So anyways, we're going to go through and get going here. Right here, we're going to start and look at your setup. All right. So once you lift everything, we want to get a nice good balance. All right. So you're doing pretty good at balance. A lot of times we'll see guys kind of shift back over the mound. So you're doing good at staying back. What I want you to make sure and sort of be aware about is you can see your eyes peeking down at the ground, peeking down at the ground. All right, you're starting. Now they come up, pick up the target. Getting that habit, it's an easy fix and it helps out a lot. Believe me, is once this leg starts, your eyes don't leave that catcher. All right, just let it get going. So your eyes are always on it once that starts going. All right, just the easy thing. It's going to help bounce big with visualization and everything. So, anyways, what we're going to look at the next spot is your balance position. So right here, once that knee gets to its highest point, all right, what are we looking like? Okay, one of the biggest things, and it'll show up as we keep going through this video, is you start your hips a little bit early. You start your rotation a little bit early. So we got to try to make sure that we're staying back over our back hip a little bit longer, and just make sure that those shoulders are staying square. You can kind of see they're starting to lean a little bit. Your head's starting to get a little bit angle. Everything's just kind of leaning this way. We still want everything to go this way. So we basically want the upper body, instead of to follow the angle of the mound, is we want it to follow a parallel line to the flat ground. All right. Another thing too that will help is you're getting your hips closed off nicely, but when you let that foot kind of kink back out, what that does is that sort of gets your foot going in front, and that pops up those hips open early, which you're going to see here. I'll click through here a little bit. You can see everything hinge open a little bit early, and so we want to try to get our hips closed a little bit longer. And what's going to help do that is to let this foot just kind of dangle a little bit more. So now that foot's going to be here. This is closed off a lot more. Now your foot has a little bit more time to sort of stay closed before it gets out. So that's going to help you stay closed. It's going to get you farther down the mound and generate a little bit more velocity too. So that's just one simple, easy fix too. So once you get going, all right, you're getting good at breaking your hands over the rubber. All right, that's good. And now through, that little pop open early I was kind of talking about is you can see everything kind of goes here and pops open, kind of swings open like a door there. At about right here it's going good, and then from right there it starts to pop open. All right, at this point we probably still want to see, back here, that foot and that heel still hasn't turned yet. You can see now it's facing the camera. So it's almost like you're kind of trying to kick something down here, with your heel. And about right here, you're still back around there. Then at this spot, you're maybe now it's just kind of catching up with your hips. Now it's starting to swing open. And so you can see everything's just, your hips are just a little bit open early, just leaking a little bit. All right, so just try to keep them closed longer down the mound, and that's going to help you out a whole lot. All right, so then that foot strikes. Once this front foot first hits the ground, which looks like it's about right, we'll call it, your heel might just be touching right there. We'll call it right here. All right, you can see where your arm is, and then it just kind of gets pushed a little bit. All right, so your arm's just kind of late with everything. So if we can get it to a point where you're more here at foot strike, and this could be your foot, it's kind of like in between, where that might not be your exact foot strike, so it's kind of hard to tell. But at foot strike, we want to have those fingers on top of that baseball, so we can get to that point where we're getting on top, driving that ball downhill instead of getting it pushed. So again, it's kind of hard to tell, but Either way, it looks like it's not too bad if we're going to call this one foot strike 2. So then at foot strike 2, going back to the hips again, we're going to see yourself pick up more stride length because you're going to stay closed longer, and you're going to see yourself maybe get out to right around there. Could be, another half foot to a foot. All right, and that not only is that going to create more velocity, more power, but that's going to cause you to release the ball quicker to the hitters. It's going to jump on them and get a little bit better with your break and stuff too. So you're keeping your glove out good. You're fixing over that front foot, bringing your chest out. All right, and another good thing is you're releasing the ball with 2 feet on the ground. You got a good angle developed here. Heads out over that front foot. All right, so you're doing a lot of good things through that finish. That's really impressive for your age too. So that's good to see. Now the more that we can kind of get a little extra stride length, you're going to see here, you're going to get a little bit of a push with that ball. So you can see how that elbow kind of gets out in front before that release. So there's just a little bit of push, and that's just everything's a little bit early without that upper body, or I mean a little bit late with that upper body. It just kind of drags through. It's just that difference of, which is your foot strike here. It could be just a little bit late, and that's what's causing that push. All right, so just getting those legs a little bit more. You're doing a lot of great things. All right, and now it's just a matter of just initially getting those hips going, getting them closed, and driving them down the mound. And so we'll go back and look at this one again. And so just right here, watch that hinge. All right, we don't want to see that knee, follow that path. We want to try to see that foot still closed off, that heel still closed. Heel maybe right here. Now it's starting to turn out, and now it's getting there. So just get those hips closed longer, farther down the mound, because everything else is real solid, and it's going to help you out a lot. So hopefully, you have a great season this year. Thanks for making it out to camp. Hopefully you had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you in with ABC.